Good day everyone, welcome to the lecture series on power electronics. In this session, we shall discuss single phase full converters with discontinuous load current. So far we have seen operation of full converter with continuous load current. Load current was continuous, assuming that load inductance is very large. So what would happen in continuous current case? Either thyristor 1 or thyristor 2, thyristor 3 or thyristor 4. So either this pair or this pair would conduct so as to maintain continuous current at load side. For example, if load current reaches before the next sequence of thyristors are fired, for example, let me say, so from alpha to some beta, so which is less than pi plus alpha, thyristor 1 and thyristor 2 are conducting, and at beta, which, so that is before thyristor 3 and thyristor 4 are fired, so for example, load current is reaching to 0, then current would be maintained at 0 only from beta to pi plus alpha. So I will explain the operation shortly. So as long as so for time being, let you assume that load current is made 0. So before the next sequence of thyristors are fired, so before T3 and T4 are fired, so current through T1 and T2, which is same as load current, is made 0 for positive half cycle. Let me say. So for beginning first cycle of the operation. So now, so that is the reason. So and the reason for load current to become discontinuous is high firing angles. Maybe if you fire this at very high firing angle, maybe omega t is maybe alpha is somewhere more than 90 degrees. Okay, more than 90 degrees, and resistance value, battery back EMF, this battery voltages are high, so that current value is very small, so that it will become 0. So within short period, maybe so before the next sequence of the thyristors are fired. So that is the reason. So due to high firing angles or low value of load current due to high opposition from resistor or battery. So these are the reasons for discontinuous load current. And in case load current is discontinuous, load performance would be deteriorated. So load performance becomes poorer. And this problem can be addressed by using freewheeling diode. So you can connect a freewheeling diode here. By connecting freewheeling diode, you can improve the load performance. So that we will see later on. So if you connect a freewheeling diode across in anti-parallel with the load, then that is known as semi-converter. Its operation we will discuss in the next session. So anyway, let us see the operation of the full converter with the discontinuous load current. So let me assume that battery EMF is high, so that current is limited, current value is low, and load current become discontinuous at some beta. Even though thyristor T1 and T2 are fired at alpha, so current will rise slowly and reach to some peak value somewhere between alpha and pi, and it will fall and it may become 0 at beta, and this beta is known as extinction angle. So before next set of thyristors are fired at some pi plus alpha, so before this pi plus alpha itself, current becomes 0. Current becomes 0. Right. So anyway, so let us see the operation now. I will assume that this beta is greater than slightly greater than pi. Okay, that is my assumption. Of course, you can take that less than pi also. In case this battery back EMF is very high, so there is a chance that current becomes 0 even for omega t less than pi. That is also possible. Now for simplicity, let me take this beta is greater than pi. So now let us see the operation. Now thyristor 1 is fired at omega t is equal to alpha, and during this particular period, T1 and T2, which are already forward biased, are going to driven into forward conduction mode. So current would flow from source to T1 and then load and then coming back to source through T2. This is the direction. And during this period, voltage across load would be same as source voltage. Current through load is same as thyristor 1 current, thyristor 2 current, and which is also same as the source current. Now let us indicate that. So now this is the load current. This is the load current, okay, between alpha and beta. And source current is same as the load current. During this period, the load voltage is equal to Vs. So that is same as Vs. So that is same as Vs this way. Now if you see, current became 0 at omega t is equal to beta. So before next sequence of thyristors are fired, current through load became 0. and from beta to pi plus alpha, none of the thyristors are going to conduct, because so current through these are made 0 and voltage appear across them is that is negative, so they are going to be reverse biased. Thyristor T1 and T2 are going to be under commutation process, they are not going to conduct, no longer they are going to conduct. And coming to T3 and T4, they also won't conduct, yes, there is no phi, even though they are forward biased, there is no gate pulse applied, so they are not going to conduct, they are not going to conduct. Okay, so this way, so during this period, omega t ranging from beta to pi plus alpha, so voltage across load, so that is same as battery voltage. If there is no current flowing, voltage across resistor and inductor both are going to 0, but voltage across battery is same as E, which is same as load voltage, and current through load is 0 and current through source also going to be 0 during this period. So that is indicated by this green lines here. So you can see, so current through load is 0, current through source is 0, and current through the voltage across load, that is equal to same as battery voltage. Okay, V naught is equal to same as battery voltage. Now what would happen at pi plus alpha? We can see that at pi plus alpha, gate pulse is applied for T3 and T4, which are already forward biased. So current would start flowing through this source, and then T3 and then load, and then coming back to source through T4, and it would rise, and this is the direction of the current. So this is the path of the current now. So during this period, so what is the voltage across load? That is same as VBA, right? You can apply KVL. So T3 and T4 are conducting, voltage across them is 0. Applying KVL, so you will get source voltage is load voltage is same as minus of the source voltage. That is same as VBA. And load current is equal to T3 current, that is same as T4 current, thyristor 3 or thyristor 4 current. And coming to the source current, you can see that source current is not, it is opposite to that of the load current. So source current is minus I naught during this period. As long as T3 and T4 are conducting, source current is same as minus of I naught. Okay, so let you indicate that graphically. See here, at omega t is equal to pi plus alpha, so current through load is so start rising slowly, gradually, and it reaches to peak value somewhere between pi plus alpha and 2 pi, and then it going to fall down again to 0, and it becomes 0 at pi plus beta. So before next set of thyristors, next sequence of thyristors are fired, current became 0, right? And during this period, we know the source current is same as minus of load current, so that is indicated. Okay, this is the source current, minus of the load current is source current. And during this period, voltage across the load is same as minus Vs, so that is minus Vs is shown with the dotted line. So during this period, pi plus alpha to 2 pi plus alpha, load voltage would follow this curve shown in the dotted line, with the dotted line, that is this way. Now so at omega t is equal to pi plus beta, current through load becomes 0, and if you find the voltage across thyristor T3 and T4, you will see that they would be reverse biased. Voltage across them is going to be negative, so they are not going to conduct, they are no longer going to conduct. And at the same time, next sequence of thyristors T1, T2 are also not going to conduct because they are not fired, so gate signal is not applied. So during this period, pi plus beta to 2 pi plus alpha, during this period, none of the thyristors are going to conduct. So load voltage, load current becomes 0, and load source current also becomes 0. But load voltage, guys, I have considered battery in the load. So load voltage is same as the battery voltage. Load voltage is same as the battery voltage. Okay, during this period. So that is shown here. Okay, load voltage is same as battery voltage during this period, and source current, load current, both are going to be zeros. And if you see, load current is always positive. You can see load current is always positive, that is unidirectional, always positive. And source current, so for 50% of the period it is positive, and 50% of the period it is going to be negative. So this is the operation for alpha omega t ranging from alpha to 2 pi plus alpha. And same operation would repeat for remaining cycles also. You will have similar kind of operation. Okay, that is shown graphically this way. Okay, you can see from 2 pi plus alpha to 3 pi plus alpha. So this is the current wave shape, and this is the source current, and this is the load voltage. So you will have similar kind of wave shapes. Even from omega t is equal to 0 to alpha also, you will have similar kind of wave shape. Okay. Now one of the important observation that you have to keep in mind, you can see that alpha must be greater than this theta 1. So what is theta 1? So theta 1 is the value of omega t where source voltage is becoming more than the load voltage. For discontinuous load current case especially, so you can see that thyristors are going to be forward biased after this instant only. For omega t greater than theta 1 only, thyristor 1 and 2 are going to be forward biased. So you have to apply gate impulse after this instant only, otherwise they are not going to conduct, as they are going to be reverse biased. So we know if there is no load current flowing, and that in that particular case load voltage equal to E and source voltage equal to Vs, and voltage across thyristor 1 you can see that is equal to Vs minus E, which is going to be negative during this period, that is from omega t is equal to 0 to theta 1. So even you give firing angle, it is not going to conduct. So you have to ensure that the firing angle is more than this theta 1, where theta 1 is the omega t value where source voltage is becoming more than the battery voltage. So please note this particular point. Okay, and we also you can also see that the load current as well as load voltages, so they are going to repeat for every pi radians, where the source voltage and source current are going to repeat for every 2 pi radians. So frequency of the load voltage and load current is equal to double to the frequency of the source voltage and source current. This is one of the important observations. So while computing average value or RMS value of the load voltage and load current, so you have to consider only pi radians. So you consider average value for only alpha to pi plus alpha for voltage and current with respect to output side. But however, while computing average and RMS value with respect to input side, you have to consider entire period, that is 0 to 2 pi radians. Okay. So this is about the operation. Let us see how to compute the average and RMS value. In order to compute, you should know the mathematical expression for V0, I0 and IS and so on. We know output frequency is double to that of frequency of input. V0 is equal to Vm sin omega t. You can see, so Vm sin omega t from alpha to beta. So alpha to beta, that is, and from beta to pi plus alpha, the value of output voltage is going to be same as battery voltage, because current is 0. If current is 0, resistor voltage, inductor voltage becomes 0. So load voltage is same as battery voltage. In case there is no battery, then battery voltage is 0, so output voltage also going to be 0. So I have considered generalized load, that is RLE load. In case there is no battery, then you can keep E is equal to 0 and you can proceed the same kind of the operation. Okay, I did not consider the RL load, but it is okay. Even you consider RLE load, even you consider RL load, you will have similar kind of operation. Instead of the voltage during this period is equal to battery voltage, you will get 0. That is only the change. Now, of course, this is the mathematical expression for V0. Coming to mathematical expression for I0, you have to solve this equation. You know, output voltage is equal to R into I0 plus L into di0 by dt plus battery voltage. So solve this equation by considering the initial value of by considering initial and final value of current. Initial value of the current that at omega t is equal to alpha, value of current is 0, final value also going to be 0. So using these two conditions, maybe you can solve this first order differential equation. You will get mathematical expression for the current. It is going to rise slowly and reach to peak value somewhere between alpha and beta, in fact in alpha and pi, and then it fall back to 0. Okay. Now you can see that thyristor 1 and 2 are conducting between alpha and beta. So conduction angle of thyristor 1 or 2, which is same as beta minus alpha, and conduction angle of T3 and T4 also, that is also is going to be, again it is also beta minus alpha, you can find. So for any thyristor, conduction angle is beta minus alpha. And coming to the source current is same as load current for this range of omega t, that is alpha to pi plus alpha, and source current is minus I0 for this range of omega t, that is pi plus alpha to 2 pi plus alpha. pi plus alpha to 2 pi plus alpha, Is is equal to minus I naught. So use these expressions to compute average and RMS value. So use the formulas for computing average value and RMS value. So compute average value. So this is the formula, right? So use this formula. Okay. So V naught is equal to what? So V naught is equal to average value, that is integration of the load voltage during this period and then take its mean value. We know from alpha to beta V naught is equal to Vm sin omega t, and from beta to pi plus alpha V naught is equal to E. So substitute that and simplify. So you would get this mathematical expression for average value of output voltage. So please go through this derivation. It is very simple to understand. So further, so you can simplify and you can write this way. So average value of output voltage equal to Vm into cos alpha minus cos beta plus E into pi minus the conduction angle of thyristor by pi. So this is the average value of output voltage. And average value of output current, yeah, so you can find this way. So we know the output current expression. So that is equal to Vm sin omega t minus E by R. So assuming that L is equal to 0, you can go by this. If L is not equal to 0, so maybe you have to go for exact expression. Okay, this may not be correct expression if L is not equal to 0. Okay, this is, let me write down this. So this is for L is equal to 0, but if L is not equal to 0, then what to do? Let us see. So you will get this kind of mathematical expression. Of course, even by considering L is equal to 0, we are not doing any great mistake, but you will get the same value for average value of output current. Maybe RMS values are going to be different, but average value you will get the same mathematical expression. So this is the mathematical expression for output current. Even with L is not equal to 0, you will get same expression. And same thing can be obtained from this fact. So we know average value of voltage across inductor must be 0, otherwise load current would increase indefinitely, which is not practical. So for that particular case, we know the average value of load voltage is equal to average value of resistor voltage plus battery voltage. Average value of load inductor voltage is 0. So from that we can write V naught is equal to I naught into R plus E, where E is battery voltage, R is resistance, and I naught is average value of load current. So from this you can rearrange this equation and you will get I naught, the average value of I naught, that is equal to V naught minus E by R. So you will get this expression again. So once you compute average value, so no need to go for computation of I naught using this formula. Directly you can use this formula for average value. Of course, you cannot use same technique to compute the RMS value. So computing RMS value is quite difficult because RMS value of load inductor voltage is not 0, even though average value is 0. So you cannot use the same technique to compute IOR, but you can compute I naught easily using this technique. It is average value of output voltage minus battery voltage by R. So now, so far we have seen, we have seen the load current, we have seen the operation of the full converter with discontinuous load and say average value of output voltage, input voltage, output voltage, RMS value of output current, and so on, right? Similarly, we can compute RMS value of output voltage and RMS value of output current. Okay. Anyway, that is not important, but in case somebody wants to compute, yes, you can compute using this mathematical expression for the V naught. You can use the mathematical expressions for V naught and I naught that are derived in previous slide. Okay, yeah. So I have mentioned in the beginning of the lecture that discontinuous load current would lead to poor performance of the load. So what is the solution for that? Solution for that is, so use freewheeling action. So use freewheeling diode and external inductor in series with the load, so that load current becomes continuous and load performance is satisfactory. Okay, yeah. So this is about the operation of single phase full converter with discontinuous load current. And if you have any doubts, so please reach me through the mail ID that is given in the description. Thank you.